Hello out there. Wanted to get started with the conversation that unfortunately so many people aren't having, and that is about the best mask slash barrier that you can be wearing on a day-to-day basis to make sure that you are impervious to an infection from COVID or from or at least the least susceptible. I don't think there's anything out there, and we shouldn't talk about the fact that there's anything that makes anyone impervious or not, unable to contract this, but yet minimizes risk. And that best barrier, that best mask is the mask and the barrier that you contain within you on a day-to-day basis, and that's called your immune system. Unfortunately, the mindset outside that is dominating, and that so many people are asking themselves, well, why aren't other people talking about this? Whether it's Joe Rogan or whether it's all these other people who are trying to, different preachers around the country, different other professions, even the naturopaths and the fitness professionals and all these people are saying, why isn't the national conversation about that barrier? Because we all know that it is the immune deficient that are the most susceptible. And so the conversation, if we are going to have social change and social autonomy and social less fear and more of an empowered basis of operating as a society in the time to come, it's about minimizing fear. Just like the shirt that I'm wearing today, Subluxation Slayer, is about removing interference. Subluxation's the greatest interference to the expression of human potential and of human life known to man, and that is a separation between the brain and the body, a disconnection, a blind spot creation as a subluxation or a misalignment of a vertebra happens in the spine, thus minimizing or just cutting off a lowering of the communication, an altering of the communication between the brain and the body that controls the function of all other function in the body. And so that is this, but also this represents the misalignment sociologically, I guess would be a great socially, that is happening, which is this disconnection between the real conversation. And the real conversation is our health. The health status of you, the individual, will determine your body's ability to fight off any infection, any challenge, physical, chemical, or emotional. And so when we look at this perception that all challenges to the body, to stay alive, to maintain life, to maintain homeostasis, to be at our best, instead of just surviving, we're thinking about thriving, because those that are thriving will be affected less by this, that the barrier within you, your immune system, is the greatest barrier, the greatest mask that you can build. And so becomes what's tearing it down? What is minimizing people's immune systems out there? What is creating the greatest amount of a lack of health, a dis-ease, a lack of ease, a lack of function in the immune system? We have to then step into the whole body. And what are the greatest causes? Well, they're overloads in physical, chemical, or emotional stress. And so when we think about our body's ability to deal with these things, minimizing the amount of things coming at you is one of the greatest ways to deal with this. It's the old concept, why would you try to put out a fire if you're still pouring fuel onto it? And so when we look at ourselves as a whole human being, one of the greatest reasons that this conversation isn't the national conversation is several parts. Number one, there is no prescription for it. It can't be sold to you. It can't be bought on a shelf. It's not a supplement on my shelf. It's not a drug in a pharmacy, and it's not a surgery. It's nothing that comes from outside of you. It is something that is within you. And therefore, it is not something that can be directly sold and marketed to, so the profit margins are low. And so it's not something, and I'm not, talking about conspiracy theory here. I'm talking about economics, and I'm talking about the law of supply and demand, and the fact that that governs a lot of what gets done out here in the world from a healthcare perspective. And so that money, the always old saying, follow the money. That then leads us to the second part. So since it can't be bought on the shelf, then it must be somewhere else. And that somewhere else is inside of you. And that means that it's personal responsibility. I was having a good conversation with a friend of mine last night while our kids were playing basketball. Really enjoyed getting to hang out and talk. And he said, one of his comments was, he was like, I understand personal responsibility. When I go back for seconds and thirds, and then I go get some dessert after that, I understand that those are my choices, and I take responsibility for that in however that affects my health downstream. And I think that we have to understand that our choices day to day do determine our health, and our health can't be purchased on a shelf. It can't be handed to you by your MD, and it can't be given to you by your chiropractor. Your health is yours and yours alone. And it is the accumulation of choices from day to day that I'm still so fascinated with this concept that 120 days from now, the living blood cells flowing through your body will be new. There will be a new you. The delivery system of nutrition and oxygen to your body, the very lifeblood of you flowing through your body, delivering the nutrition and the oxygen will be new in 120 days. New LDL levels, new HDL levels, new inflammatory markers, new all of these things that so many people go to the doctor to get measured. And we get there, and oftentimes we wonder, is this going to be better? It's going to be worse? Oh my goodness. And we act like it's some sort of mystery. But it is a accumulation of actions within the 5 essentials that determine how our bodies function. And so here I am. I got a question from someone who is watching online. And so here we go. Awesome. So I'll get there to that question. So as we look at the actions within the 5 essentials, and see that the point of this is to take our conversation to what you can control. You control your immune system. You control how strong or weak it is, and you do so by the choices you make on a day-to-day basis within the 5 essentials that govern how your body manages the physical, chemical, and emotional stresses that you come in contact with. And so when we look at that, the number one is the mindset of power, the mindset of responsibility that empowers you to make the choices, to then assume the responsibility for those choices, and then modify your actions to get the new you that 120 days from now, that lifeblood flowing through you will be new. So what will it be made of? Will it have better HDL to LDL ratios? Will you have less inflammation and more healing properties? What will the nutrition flowing through you be made of? What will it be? So that mindset right there can take you from the armchair of life back into the driver's seat. And so that's a huge thing. And for you and your family, it then becomes an implementation strategy, which is one of the greatest things that here at Chiropractic Care in Dade County, also Max Living offices around the country, that we are doing to take people from where they are to where they want to be. And so in looking at that, minimizing the amount of things that your body has to deal with, that I think starts with the mindset so that we can reduce stress. You know, I was studying, and did you know that the fight or flight mechanism and the long-term cortisol levels being elevated in the human body makes the body more prone to developing cancer, to metastasis of cancer, and to the cancer itself, which is trying to get blood vessels to grow toward it to feed it, called angiogenesis. Your cortisol levels help determine how well or how bad that happens. So your stress levels literally affect whether cancer will grow in your body, and it will also affect how much it metastasizes and how much blood flow gets developed to it. I think that if we talk more about stress and empowering people to manage it, to eliminate it, and to utilize their body and their knowledge to do so, that then we can allow people to understand the gravity of the situation and take more time out of their lives to say, hey, meditation, prayer, good physical stress reducing exercise, laughter, is all more important than I even thought. Therefore, I'm going to have better personal responsibility with it. And the next thing is that once we get the brain working better, it's about making sure the brain-body connection doesn't have any blind spots in it. And that's chiropractic at its core. That is minimizing the most devastating condition that you can have in your body. The most degenerating, the most debilitating thing that you can have is a misalignment of your spine, causing nerve interference to whatever body part that's part of the spinal cord and nerves that are being affected. Subluxations rob you of your body's ability to control everything downstream, and that is your physical, chemical, and emotional ability to manage all the other functions. So if you haven't been checked, so 2 qualifications for being a chiropractic patient in a Max Living office is that you have a pulse and that you want to be healthier. Those are the 2 qualifications. If you have a pulse and you have a desire to be at your best or be healthier, then you're a person who needs to get checked. And the number for this area is right there, strolling through across the screen. And therefore, that is your ticket to being involved in the 5 essentials, which is the best delivery system to the best barrier that you have in your body, the best immune system, the best mask you will ever empower yourself with is that. And it is bolstered because it is within the principles that really govern health. It's not covering up symptoms. And so that is the ticket, because then once identified of subluxations, you can learn how to not only have them feel better and function better, but you can learn how to correct them and then do things at home with spinal hygiene exercises to allow you to become more stable in your spine, to reduce the added basically friction or misalignment, reduce those so that your body becomes, integrity is better. Your nervous system functions better, you degenerate less, and you have a better quality and quantity of life. That's corrective care. That's something that separates us from every other chiropractor on the planet. So then once that's established, you then follow through with the rest of the 5 essentials, which we've touched on: mindset and now the connection between the brain and the body. And it's essential to being vibrant, healthy, and living to your potential. Now it's time to move to empowering that barrier, that immune system, that mask that separates you from whether the virus lands on you and then you have defense against it and can overcome it, or it overcomes you. How about the nutrition? Did you know that if you get around 50, depending on your body weight, this is different. It's different for my 3-year-old who's 35 pounds than it is for me who's 200 pounds, that the amount of sugar, when you reach a threshold of sugar, so the average adult's around 50 grams of sugar, that if you get that in a serving of a meal, you've suppressed your immune system for the next 5 hours, minimum. Let's see about this message, and pardon me, got a couple of questions here. Got it. So we have now that number one, minimize your sugar. That means simple carbs. That means, unfortunately, one of my favorites. Got to minimize more of it. Pizza. Man. Look out, Mountain Pizza. Community pie. Goodness gracious. It's good stuff, man. But got to cut it down. So the reality is that yours might be ice cream. Yours might be pasta, a Coke. I don't know. But the fact is, whatever it is that you're doing on a regular basis that's suppressing your immune system for consecutive 5-hour increments. So the child wakes up in the morning, he's fed cereal and sugar, and then maybe drinks, like cereal-based sugar, then, or even a healthy version, that grain turns into sugar within 5 seconds of being in his mouth or her mouth. It then has the added sugar from the milk. So we're already up into the 30, 40 grams of sugar by the time that's done. Then maybe they have a cup of orange juice. Now they're up into the 60, 70 amount of grams of sugar. They only weigh 50 pounds. Their immune system is shut down for the next several hours. Pardon me. Wow. I had never received so many questions, and I hope that this is why the format's changing immediately as we continue to talk here, because I'm trying to answer these. There we go. Here we go. So now, so number one, that's just breakfast. Now the child goes to school, they get the pizza, milk, fruit cup, bam, right back up to that level, suppressed again. So we wonder why. Thank God for the fact that this is, and I hope you look on our Facebook page and look at that chart that shows the number of children who've been hospitalized and died here in the United States in this COVID epidemic in all the states. And you'll realize just how low that is, 3 for the hospitalizations, and the 0 from direct COVID death. And so we're amazingly blessed that our children are being protected by their immune systems and the way that this virus is infecting people. And so thank goodness for that. And so when we look at this, but the other things like the flu and strep throat and all these other things that are affected, we're talking directly about those and why most of the time our schools are, literally breeding grounds for illness. And this is why they're going there immune suppressed, and they're continuing that. And then they come home and maybe they eat another meal. And the only time their immune system is bolstered is when they're asleep. And then the cycle starts over again. What are we going to do? Minimize the carbs. More protein, more healthy fat, more vegetables, period. Then, what about exercise? Exercise is literally developing there's so many studies. Get out there on the National Institute of Health, their website, and exercise and immune system boosting, what it does for the interleukins and the cytokines, and how it allows your T cells to get better activation through the positive chemicals that happen due to exercise, and what that does for sustained T cell activity, phagocytosis, and activation of B cells and stuff, and literally the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to every organ and cell in your body is determined by how efficiently the cardiovascular system can deposit and deliver this stuff, this oxygen and nutrition, to your body. And if the children are YouTubing and they're Facebooking and they're whatever, playing games, Xboxing and all this other stuff, and they're not out playing and getting fresh air and sunshine and sweating that allows for better detoxification, which lowers the amount of toxins in the body, then they are going to be more susceptible to illness of all kinds. So when we look at these things, again, let me take a look here at how much time we have left. Awesome. So 5 more minutes, folks. The fact is we've got to get into that, so we've got nutrition and exercise. We understand it. What I'm trying to help you understand is that the power within you is greater than the power outside of you. The virus is no match for a healthy immune system. This COVID-19, children and people with healthy immune systems sometimes get it. They're asymptomatic. They don't pass it to others. They're not carriers, and other people are dying from this. What is the difference? Their health, their immune system. The conversation should be how to help you be one of the people who isn't affected. Not waiting idly by on the couch potato of life for a false salvation and a vaccine that probably won't work and may have more harm than good. That's a reality. It's a possibility. No matter how great or how small you think it might be, it is still a possibility. But the thing that is 100% certain, 100% of the time, that always works is a healthier you is a healthier you. Healthier habits develop a healthier you. And so better nutrition, less sugar, more healthy vegetables, healthier fats will always help you. Better exercise, better sunshine and fresh air will always help you. Having a nervous system free of interference, free of subluxations, allowing your brain-body connection to function better, better posture, better range of motion, better function will always help you. Minimizing the junk that comes into your body, the toxins, will always help you. And so let me respond to this question request here. Sorry, good if having a patient with an emergency that is requesting some help. So thanks for bearing with me here with these interruptions with questions and people needing help. But the fact is that every day, our lives here at Chiropractic Care of Dade County and every other Max Living Chiropractic office around the country is dedicated to saving and changing the lives of anyone that we can come in contact with, because each person is a valuable entity to this world. Them living at their potential makes the world a better place. Every one of us playing low and playing slow and playing, scared and sitting on the armchair of life does not empower the rest of the world. It minimizes the beauty in this world and therefore robs it of the potential. And the question, the conversation is minimizing the amount of mental pollution that comes in and also minimizing the amount of toxins that come in. We do that through cleaning up our nutrition. We do that through cleaning up our cosmetics. You can reach out to my wife, Megan, and she's a representative of Beauty Counter, which would minimize the amount of toxins coming in from the different cosmetics and shampoos and lotions and potions and things that a lot of ladies use more than even guys. And so that is one avenue, one company that you can look into, beautycounter.com. And you can reach out to her if you need anything. Meg McDill, she's one of the representatives. So then we look at minimizing toxins through amount of, getting our bodies detoxing better, which is one of the greatest ways is that exercise again and sweating daily. Skin is the third largest detoxer. One of the easy, cheap things that you can do on a daily basis is to make sure you drink enough water so that your lymphatic system is flowing. And remember, it's a kind of a capillary action is the best way I can describe it, where literally there is no pump. So it's when your muscles squeeze and your body moves and you move, that this is moved just like water in a straw. When you've created the vacuum and you put your finger on top of the straw and you lift it up, the water's still in there. Right? You ever played that game? Well, that same type of action, that pulling system, is what moves the lymphatic fluid through the lymph system, which is kind of like the sewer system of the human body that's allowing all this junk that we accumulate to be gotten rid of. And so, man, to do that, you have to be properly hydrated. That'll allow your kidneys to function better, your liver to function better, and that will also allow your skin to detox better. So that's empowering the three greatest systems that you have for detoxification. Breathing hard when you're exercising. We all know, I guess the breathalyzer is a great example of how the body detoxes ethanol from the body. When someone's had too much to drink and they have this breathalyzer, it shows up. It is an exhalated toxin. And so when your other toxins are the same way. So when you're out there breathing hard and running and laughing and chasing the kids and playing, that is a detoxification method. And it's free, it's fun, and it's empowering. And so, folks, these are some of the things that I want to help you understand, that we are changing the conversation. We are allowing you to reach your health potential here at Chiropractic Care of Dade County. Also here with Max Living offices around the country. Look forward to helping you and your family reach your life potential through maximizing your health potential. And feel free to give us a call, as the number's been scrolling through during this segment here. And I hope that, again, this has reminded you to change the conversation from waiting for a false salvation to empowering you with the ability to boost your immune system through the 5 essentials, through aligning yourselves with the principles that govern health. And if you want a doctor on your team that is helping you align, looking for your blind spots, and then helping remove those blind spots so that you reach your life potential, dial the number, text the number that you want a new patient visit for you and your entire family. Remember, if you've never been checked and you still have a pulse, then you need to be a chiropractic patient. We'll see you back here next week, same time, same channel. Bye now.